recorded a phone conversation with myself and another targeted individual. She did give me permission to upload this. So, and also I know in the state of Florida that you have to notify the person you're on the phone with that your calls are recorded. Because that's just the law out here. So I did ask her for permission to get her audio phone recording uploaded to YouTube, and she agreed. She also wanted to remain anonymous. She didn't want her name mentioned. So I respect that, and I edited out her name and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play this audio recorded call that I did. All my calls are recorded. As a targeted individual, one thing that you'll learn throughout your years is that we get a lot of people that try to gaslight and lie. So oftentimes, ways to counter that is just by recording your phone conversations. Aside from recording encounters that you have with video recorders like your cell phone recorder, it's also good to have an app on your phone that you can have readily available. So whenever you have phone calls with people, the calls can be recorded. I'm a transparent person. I have nothing to hide. I don't care if people are secretly recording me because I'm not a criminal and I don't commit crimes. I don't care about being video recorded because, again, I don't engage in criminal activities. The only type of people that would have a problem with that are people that engage in criminal activities. Now, granted, there's the privacy aspect. Everyone has a right to privacy to a certain degree. When you're out in public, there is no expectation of privacy. Even when you're within a residence or a building, it's pretty much restricted to, the bathroom and, someone's bedroom and stuff like that. But also, if you feel that there is a threat that is present, you have every right to do what you need to do to protect yourself. And if that warrants you having to record, even in certain private areas, you got to do what you got to do. But I just wanted to let you guys know about call recording apps. I have one on my phone I've had for years. I actually pay for mine. So it records every single one of my phone calls. If you have an Android phone, you go to the Google Play and just type in call recorder in the search, and it brings up a bunch of different call recording apps. So yeah, just kind of experiment, pick whichever one is best for you. I'm not really going to share which one of these I have, but this is the right direction to go if you want to select, um, a good call recording app. Again, you might have to download a couple of them to try to experiment, but definitely record your phone conversations. Check the laws in your state, in your areas. Make sure you're in compliance with the laws because you don't want to be in a situation where, you know, um, you get in trouble for having recorded a conversation and, you try to use it, against the person or whatever, and they had no idea that they were being recorded. So it's just very important to know the laws of the land in your area. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share this recording of myself and another targeted individual. And yeah.
It's Ochu.
Hey, I figured out what happened. They keep silencing my phone. They can remotely turn it off because I didn't turn it off and it hasn't been ringing.
Yeah, I've had experiences with that too. So I already know how they operate. So yeah. How are things? How are you holding up?
Tense,
Yeah,
really tense, but you have to get through it.
true. When did you first realize that that you were being targeted?
About 4 years ago, I started to think it was something deliberately done, probably by the government. But I'd had weird things happen since '91, and it just was kind of spaced out, so I didn't put it all together.
Yeah.
But it's been going on, and truthfully, my family was terrible while I was growing up, and they were kind of targeting me. And now that they're dying out, the cops have taken over. So I've never gotten a break.
Were you adopted?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wondered if I was.
Same here.
I wondered if I was. They were targeting your dad, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah. It was the latter part of his time here on this earth. We just noticed some things happening with him. Like I don't know. My dad never really put his business out there with, as far as like us being his kids. He never told us what was going on in his life. But the last few years that he was alive, I noticed that he would take us places with him that he normally wouldn't. And it was like he was trying to use our eyes to see if we could see what he was dealing with without him having to tell us. So we noticed right off the bat, like, he would take us places and there would be no one there, and then all of a sudden all these cars would pull up and we would be like, okay, what's going on? So it was like we could recognize he was being targeted without him telling us that. So that was confirmation to him that he wasn't insane. Like my God, if my kids can see that this is happening, then I know that I'm not crazy, type thing. So yeah, it was going on with him, and then we didn't get targeted right after he died. It was more like they sat back and watched us for a while, for some years. And then it wasn't until 2014 when they went overt to at least let me know that I was being watched and having my life manipulated and all that. But yeah,
I can hardly leave the house without seeing a cop car or a fire truck or an ambulance. Today I saw all of them.
Yeah.
I saw them several times.
Yeah, it's intentional and deliberate. There's no coincidence. That's how it is wherever I go. I'm always seeing.
Have you heard about Dinesh D'Souza's movie Police State? I think it sort of suggests something like this is going on.
Yeah, I haven't. You said it's a movie that's out? It's called Police State?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not out on video yet. You have to go to the movies and order tickets online.
Oh.
I'm going to see it at some point because he talks about it on YouTube and it sounds tied to this kind of thing. I think what's happening is they were harassing the police wouldn't take any action. Said all I can do is get a restraining order. When I tried to get one on them, they got one on me and I was denied. They've been literally torturing me ever since. And in July it was renewed, and I've had witnesses and they have no witnesses. They have no pictures. I have pictures. And it's totally corrupt. And it's like they're doing to Trump. They just make this crap up. And the courts and the judges are crooked. And if a cop or a judge says something, people think they're the ones who are right. And you're the one who's crazy. You can't convince them. The law says that it must be okay, and they're the kangaroo court.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's why I totally resonate with. I'm not into politics. I've never voted, but from what I've been observing on the news and what Trump is going through, I can totally relate. I mean, obviously we don't have as much money as he does, but you can clearly see the persecution and the court cases that I went through, very similar to what he was dealing with, just a bunch of BS charges to drag you through the court system and just to give you a hard time type thing. But
and some people take it seriously. They have to be stupid. There's just, because even when they're reading the charges and stuff, I think, why would that be illegal? It doesn't even make sense.
None whatsoever. Yeah. It just makes you wonder, like, what's been around us this whole time? Like, are these people even human? Like, there's just this element of just, like, these people are just brainwashed, or they're just not real people. Like, literally, they're not real people. Like,
well, that's why I don't even really hate my neighbors all that much, because I believe they're under mind control.
Something.
When they move, they don't even act, they don't even look the same. I've seen them for years. They move almost like robots.
Yeah.
Not normal.
Yeah. there's
And they
definitely.
used to be afraid of me because they knew they were pissing me off. And now she chases me around and blocks me in the driveway when I'm sitting there with a German Shepherd, isn't wise. It's just not normal for them.
Right. You can definitely tell like there's some sort of manipulation or something going on. There's definitely a mind control element to it, some remote type of. I don't know how they're able to pull it off with bulk masses of people. Like I would think it would take, a person assigned to someone, but apparently they have it to where they can do it in mass.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah. So I
And her
don't.
husband hates my guts and does all kinds of things to piss me off, so I'll get arrested. And he gets away with it. The police won't do anything. And until this restraining order thing, I never even knew who he was. I had never even seen him because he was always in his carport on the other side.
Mhm.
And so why would he hate me and come after me and try to get me arrested if I didn't even know who? I couldn't have even picked him out in the crowd. He didn't know who I was either. It makes no sense. And now he just
Yeah.
chases me around with the camera and all this. And the other day, the maintenance man for the park here rode in to the lot and back when I had the dogs running around off leash with this lady with the restraining order on the cart. And he was laughing and they were yelling and she got off and came toward me with a camera and he's making donuts in the yard. And I called the police and I have really bad arthritis and I was holding 100 pounds of dog trying to hold them back. And they were barking and growling. And these officers, by the time they came, I was on the other side of the park, nowhere near my home.
Mhm.
And I parked there talking to a friend, and the police find me and pull up. They didn't go to my house first. They pull up right behind me. They knew where I was, and I was very upset, and the officer says, well, what if she doesn't bother you for the rest of the day? So that suggests to me he controls what she's doing to me.
That's an implication right there. Yep.
And I said, I'm going to have to go up to the hospital. It hurt my leg. And I didn't want an ambulance. Then he says, well, listen, please take the dogs home first. Don't take them to the hospital. He said, I wouldn't take them to the hospital. He says, don't leave them in the car. And I said, I would not do that. And, of course, I was going to take him home first. So when I do go home, he's in his car parked alongside the street facing me. And just like he's out there guarding in front of my house.
Yeah.
And I sat there and said, you're not going to steal him. There's someone there 24/7. He didn't seem to know what I was talking about, but I was thinking they wanted me to have him there when I wasn't home so they could come in and take him. That's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
I've heard they do stuff to pets.
Oh yeah. I'm a cat person. I had 2 cats that they killed. My cats I had for like about 12 years or so, and they killed my cats. So.
Oh, that makes me sick. I think they may have had a hand in killing my Chihuahua.
Oh yeah.
And I thought if because she just all of a sudden got terribly ill.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, had to be put down. She got terrible care at the vet. And I took her to 2 different vets, and no one would treat her. They wouldn't treat her. They just kept filling me full of BS. And I had to wait out front because it was during COVID. I couldn't really get in and talk to the doctor just over the phone. And, yes, I was worried about getting pets. I thought, well, I'm just going to watch them when I get this new dog. And then I find out they're doing it through direct energy weapons. On Jeff's channel, he says they do stuff to his dog through direct energy. And I had a pit bull. We had to put him down in August. He was old. They lasered his eye, and they told me in the comments on YouTube, my channel, they were going to do it. And then they did. His eye was all brown and tears were coming out. That's when I stopped doing my channel. It's not worth it.
Yeah. They whatever it is that you love, anything that you hold dear to your heart, they will come after and try to destroy. And I just I don't know. I could not bring myself to owning pets because I wouldn't want my pets to suffer. So after they killed my cats, I vowed to never own any
That's what
pets.
I was going to either, but I seriously felt I needed a protection dog because I have to walk around. I'm a diabetic. I need exercise. And I
Yeah.
was not safe on the street. And I thought if I could find a protection dog, then I'd get it. And I saw this one that had been dumped in a park on a video, a male, and the owner had just driven away and left it at the dog park. So I called around and tried to find the rescue, picked it up,
Hmm.
and I couldn't find it. It was a black German Shepherd. So I went on the website for the Humane Society, and what do you know? A female black German Shepherd was there. And that was a heck of a coincidence. It appears to be purebred, and I did adopt it. It's fully trained, and it was trained for protection, and it tried to kill almost anybody that came near me. It was just in full protection mode and would lay on the floor by my bed at night and guard things. And
Yeah.
I have a feeling it might have been a setup. They might have put that dog there because I volunteered in the shelters for 15 years and never saw a dog like this. He said it was a stray. And who would let a dog like this go stray? And I think they might have taken it out of some training program for law enforcement or the military. We have military around here. And set me up because now wherever I go, people have black German Shepherds. They're walking it. And that was a great way to freak me out.
Right. And those perps are scared of like if you have dogs, like they're fearful of that. I've noticed. But yeah, it's just the evil that's behind this is just it's
I
unfathomable.
started to wonder, Richard, have you ever heard of Richard?
Lighthouse. Oh, Richard Bruce. Yeah, he's in California. He does the videos about the reptilians and
Yeah, I started to wonder. I mean, normally I wouldn't believe something like that. But I started to wonder because whoever this is has such a high level of operating.
no, it's definitely real. And I was gonna actually start posting videos pertaining. I was trying to get to that part. I wanted to expose because it's easier to expose what these people are doing. At least I'm able to expose it really well. But there is another aspect to this, and it is, and it's even spoken of in the Bible. I don't know how much, I don't know if you've read the Bible or I mean
Not a lot.
there
Not a lot.
these serpents are spoken of in Scripture, and I've had encounters with them. They've revealed themselves to me when I was locked up in jail out here in Florida. When you're in jail, there's nowhere to go. There's no one to get help from. So they had me in there, and they revealed, what they were, and I didn't have any fear. I wasn't scared or anything like that. I already knew about them, but that's what is behind a lot of what is going on. They walk amongst us looking like humans, but they're not really human.
Oof, gosh.
They're I mean, look at what happens with organized stalking and harassment. Like, it doesn't feel like a human element. It feels like something predatory, like animalistic, and that's not the nature of a human. So, yeah, the way they come after us is like just predators. But I don't know. I'm just like everyone else, just trying to find answers, trying to figure out what to do. I try to post videos to.
Do you notice they get worse if you do post videos?
Yeah, I don't care anymore. Like I've gotten past that. Like I've had so many attacks from when I post videos on certain things. I don't even care anymore. I just do it. I continue to do it because I know there are people out there that want to find people that are real and that they can have camaraderie with and know that this is really happening and they're not just crazy. So I try to have that platform.
I wanted to contact Kevin Salazar because he has all the symptoms of being a target, and he's sitting there in a jail like you were, having people doing stuff to him. And I personally think he was innocent because of the similarities between his case and the other one in 2011. They were too much alike.
Yeah.
It was part of some plan.
They can drive if you're not strong-willed enough. They can drive you to that type of situation. They do that with me all the time. It takes a significant amount of willpower and just the will that you have within your soul to be able to overcome this. Because I get police encounters all the time, and it's just it can drive you crazy, but you just truly have to have that willpower to overcome it. And
yeah, really.
Yeah, so
you know what? We actually may at the end feel like we were blessed because we are kind of preparing for what's coming, and other people aren't. They're just blind, and they're really, when it gets worse, they're really going to be blown away.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get freaked out. Like we're trying to warn them. They want to say that we're crazy or delusional and all this, but at some point it's going to be open season on the masses with this whole program. So I never thought I'd live to see something like this. This type of stuff you hear about, you see in movies, and you don't think that it's real until it happens to you. Yeah. So it's crazy.
Every day and think, I hope to God that was a nightmare. I hope it was a nightmare.
Same here. Nope.
Police just show up at my house all the time. They say the neighbors next door and across the street both have restraining orders against me.
Yeah.
I was a Sunday school teacher for 20 years. What are the chances? And one of the guys across the street, he's in his 30s. He works as a security guard, and he needs a restraining order against a 65-year-old woman. That's an insult.
Yeah, that's all some setup, them working with the police type thing, trying to get you in a mental facility or some jail facility to have their way with you. That's what it's all about.
Wait for that. My parents already tried that and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Instead, I had post-traumatic stress disorder from childhood abuse. And my doctor thinks they're causing it to get worse, the neighbors are. And when we went to court, the judge would look at my doctor's notes.
Yeah, because they're all in on it. A lot of these judges, and I don't know if you know about the Masons and Eastern Stars and all that kind of stuff. Like, they're all involved in that secret society crap, and it's a no-win situation. But
yeah, for sure.
But
it's a shame because these officers. I live in San Diego. There's haven't been any white kids in our school since the 70s. They're all Hispanic. And these handsome, fit, white officers show up. They carry the legacy of law enforcement and military with them that shaped America. And they act like total pukes. And I tell them this. I say, how can you do this to your own people?
right.
Their grandmother or whatever. They've been brainwashed.
Yeah, and to be a police officer, you have to know how to take orders. You can't be insubordinate, if that's the right word.
That's what they do. They just take orders and they don't do any deep thinking.
They're robots. I mean, you cannot be a police officer in this day and age and not be able to take orders. You won't have a job. So it is what it is. You can't. They are what they are, but.
I actually feel sorrier for them than I do for me, that they would be so dirty and crooked and stick up and work together with these felons next door that were living on the street.
They sold their souls. Yeah, they sold their souls.
Did.
Yeah,
they
so.
did.
And
the only reason these people have a home is the parents died and they inherited it. That's the only reason. Otherwise, they'd be living in the street.
Right.
Just like the people you see in the videos where they're dirty and using drugs, and they're siding with them and going in their house and talking to them. This officer told me, going in the house and talking to them about me, and when they show up in court with these documents, it's always been signed off by a cop. I recognize the name because the cop comes over here and harasses me.
Right.
they're all, I mean, on what planet did they reason that they would want to be around these people? My grandfathers were both police officers. They wouldn't like people like them. They wouldn't want to associate with them. Disgusting.
Right.
And I had one of them come, and he said, he's done a lot of rotten things to me, and he said they wouldn't let me walk in front of their house, even though it was 20 feet away. Like it says in the restraining order, I have to stay 20 feet or more away. So the street is 20 feet. So I'd walk by their house, and like them, either they fight, they cuss, they use the F word, they throw things at each other. It's a mess. The HOA won't touch it. The property manager is in collusion with them too. And so I sending it, say, look at who we're dealing with its criminal record. Do you know they confiscated those letters at the post office and brought them to my house?
I believe it. Yeah. They will try to assign people in your life to try to manipulate you. And how long have you lived in your house there or that neighborhood?
Since 95.
Wow, God bless you.
So they can't fool me because I used to know how things were. And I've known some of these people for years. And now they're throwing trash cans and wearing red shirts and coming out when I come out. I was on friendly terms with them before, so they have no reason to do anything like that.
Yeah, it's like you said, brainwashed and mind control and incentives. It's like you can almost buy anybody these days, to do whatever.
This guy next door he's the worst, and he works for AT&T and is a veteran. The guy behind me is a DACA recipient that's in the military.
I don't trust no military people. None.
I don't think it's a coincidence. And the guy next door got the place at rock bottom deal to buy it. So I think they got him in there because he started harassing me right away 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
Piece of shit.
I'm just hoping that something, at this point, I just feel like it's going to be divine intervention at this point. That
right.
Is the only thing that can help, because there's no help in man. I mean, you can write to the committees. I mean, I've been posting videos about writing to the judiciary committees and all this kind of stuff, but in hindsight, I honestly don't really think that they're going to help.
No. I don't know that they can. I don't know if anybody human can help.
Right.
We're dealing with something more powerful than we are.
Yeah, for sure.
Because these people think they're going to do an insurrection and militias are going to step in and they'll just drain your bank account. They do it to people now. I've heard stories.
Yeah.
Or they'll just deprive you of food or medical care, or they'll do something to your kid.
Yeah, that's exactly.
These people are very foolish that think we can win back America.
Right. Yep, it's crazy. But yeah, I've been having to move from. That's how I've survived as long as I have. Because if I stay in one place for too long, it's like they really try to close in on you. So I'm constantly having to be on the move and just try to reach out to people as much as I can. I don't know. It's like you said, it's a never-ending nightmare. What do you do? Just try to survive.
Yeah. You're welcome to call me if you feel like you need to, because I can't get support from anybody.
Yeah.
People just say, oh, don't fight with the neighbors. I'm like, oh, my God, I have a restraining order. I fight with them.
Yeah.
Be in jail.
Right.
Won't let you down, I'll tell you. Really, really let you down. I met a lady a few years ago. She was probably in her 60s. Her husband had ditched her. Her kids had ditched her. My kids have ditched me, too. And there's no reason for it, because if I do find them and talk to them, it's all friendly. So I think something's been done to them. And she lived in a mobile home park here, and a friend came up, said, this kid is in trouble. People are chasing him. Can you please take him in? I'd say, why don't you keep him at your house? But she took him in. He started smoking pot when it was illegal, destroyed her place. She called the police. They wouldn't do anything. She said, how can you not do anything when smoking pot is illegal? So then he left. But she goes to pay her rent because she rented the space. The property manager was gone, and the office was locked up during the day. She went there 3 times, couldn't pay the rent. It happened for 3 months in a row, and now she was panicking. She was going to lose her home.
Yeah. How many children do you have, Wanda?
2.
Okay. Do they live in California?
Yes.
Okay.
I find them on the internet. That's the only way I know where they are.
Oh, okay. And you have that they're not in contact with you at all? Like
No.
they never come visit you or anything?
No. I haven't seen my son since 2010, and I saw my daughter in September because I went over to her apartment because my aunt had died, and I was going to tell her. She didn't care. She didn't care about seeing me either. And they're not deadbeats or anything. I just don't know why they do this.
Yeah. Do you know if you have grandkids?
No, I don't. I'm glad. I don't want them. And truthfully, I don't want my kids around me because I don't want them to become targets and affected by this.
Right.
My son is a martial arts instructor, and that could come in handy.
Yeah.
Good. He's like lethal looking. He's an engineering supervisor during the day, and then he teaches the martial arts. And I don't know how I got a kid like this, but he has a look to him that's lethal, like someone you don't want to screw with. And I could really use that around me.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just looking for
What a
answers just like
heartbreak.
everyone else.
Once you lose your kids, there's nothing else that's going to be worse than that.
Right.
Do you have any kids?
No. I do not want to bring any kids into this world, especially with
No.
what I'm dealing with. No.
No. You had a brother, too, didn't you? That
Yeah.
was targeted. You said he was in the military.
Yeah, he was in the Army. He got out. He had to create an injury just to get out, and he won't talk about it. And we grew up together. My brother would tell me everything, but the fact that he wouldn't tell me what went on while he was in the military, like that was, it must have been something. But he had to create an injury for himself so that he could get out because he didn't want to be in that no longer.
Wow.
But, he's targeted too. My mom and my sister and my dad, he passed away in '99. They hit him with dew weaponry and induced a heart attack. He died at 42 years old. And it's just crazy. I don't have any support. Like, I'm able to take care of myself. I work full time. And that's about it. No friends, no nothing. Just me.
No friends. Wow. I don't really have any because a lot of them are dying. They're gone. Everybody I know is dead.
Yeah.
And I don't get out much anymore, so I don't meet new people.
Right. I've been in hiding myself. I have not really been out for like 5 or 6 months now. I just do my work from home job, and I don't get out as much because it's like there's no enjoyment when you're having to watch your back 24/7 and people trying to set you up. And I'm like, I'm not trying to go back into that jail because they tortured me. They injected me with something. I have no idea what it was.
Probably lithium.
My brain is still trying to recover from whatever it was because it affected my brain directly. Like they were trying to turn my brain to mush while I was in there.
Oh.
And
how long were you in there?
A little bit over 30 days. And I'll never forget because I had that pain in my shoulder, and I'm going to put a video out about it because I got video footage of the night I was arrested and everything. And I remember waking up when I was in the jail, and there was this distinct pain in my left shoulder. You know that familiar pain you have when you get a vaccine from back in the day. Like I remember what that felt like, and I was like, "Wow, they stuck me with something. What the hell did they stick me with?" But not too long after that injection, I started to feel like my brain started feeling funny. Like, yeah, they were trying to screw my brain up while I was in there. But by the grace of God, I was able to get through it, and I'm still trying to recover from it. Like, I don't feel like my mind is completely at 100%. It's kind of hard to explain, but
did you go in for not showing your license?
yeah, it was two charges that time. It was resisting an officer without violence because I didn't give him ID. Well, I wasn't obligated to because I didn't commit no crime, and then I worked as a security officer in the state of Texas, so I still have my security gear. I had a handcuff key that was on my key ring, and they additionally charged me with unlawful possession of a handcuff key, which I never even thought existed.
Oh my God. Probably doesn't.
Yeah.
They probably made it up.
Right. And he saw my licensing credentials from when I worked security, like it was still active and everything. I was like, look, I'm a security officer in the state of Texas. This is why I have this handcuff key. And my duty belt was in my vehicle with my handcuffs and everything like that. They saw all that, but they had an agenda. They were going to take me in anyways. It didn't matter what proof I had.
Right.
So that's when they used that opportunity to inject me with whatever it was that they did. But it didn't work. They tried to mess up my brain. I'm still able to function and work full time, but it's been a struggle trying to heal.
That's gross.
Yeah. So, I don't know. My heart goes out to everyone that's going through this. I know firsthand what it's like.
Yeah, really. Sometimes you think they're kind of benevolent when they don't have to be. Sometimes they've been kind of nice and given me a break when they could have done much worse. And I wonder, why were they even this nice to me? Or sometimes an officer will come out and be pretty sympathetic. And I think, why are they? It seems like when they've really, really, really screwed with me and I'm on the verge, on the edge, then they'll have an officer come out. He says things that make me wonder, but he's not jerking me around. And I think, why have they even been this nice?
Because they're
It could have been worse.
Because they're feeding off of your soul energy. That's they have to create the chaos. They have to get you to the point of where you're just going to break, and then right when you're on the cusp of breaking, they come in and try to be nice because they want to keep you in a perpetual state of fear and anxiety, and that's what these entities feed off of, these reptilians.
The up and down, the up and down.
Exactly. That's what creates their food. So they have to do that. So essentially, it's not like they want you dead because they need your energy, but they will, like you said, keep you on this up and down roller coaster ride type thing. And that's what I want to start putting out information about, why they're doing it and what they're trying to get from you. It's all about that energy that they don't have because they're not connected to God and source energy. So it's the only thing that makes sense, because it's like, we're not terrorists, obviously. We don't know how to create bombs and all this stuff they talk about on the news and all this crap. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot deeper. A whole lot deeper. So, well, I just wanted to, I'm glad I was finally able to talk to you. I know there's a time difference because I'm on East Coast time, you're on West Coast, so there's like, was it 3 hour difference, something like that?
I'm not sure, but I'm up a lot.
Yeah.
I sleep all that well, and they make sure I don't.
Yeah.
This idiot behind me start up his motorcycle at 3:45 in the morning outside my window, right where my head is.
Yeah.
Oh. And they have the guy next door start his truck up, sit out in front of my house. Really loud truck and motorcycle.
Yeah, that's that's what they call the noise campaign. This is what they do to try to irk your nerve and get you pissed off. Yeah.
Work.
Yeah. Well, just continue. You're doing something right. You've endured this long, so you know how to get through it. Just continue to be strong, and I offer the same thing to you as well. If you need to talk or share camaraderie with someone who knows what's going on, I mean, feel free to call anytime. And I'm just gonna keep putting out videos of my experiences, and hopefully it can help people. Like, I don't put stuff out I don't get paid for my videos or nothing like that. It's just, I just want people to know that they're not alone and there are other people going through the same thing, and hopefully
That
it
was
helps.
a big help to find out what gang stalking was, and that there really is something out there that people are going through. They're going through what I am. That was a huge help.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you watch, like, what other channels do you watch or you subscribe to?
That gang stalking show, Real Gang Stalking, Richard Bruce. I'm sure there's more. I'm just not thinking of them.
Yeah.
Usually, if anything says something about gang stalking, I watch it. But sometimes I just can't watch them because it's too anxiety-producing for me to watch it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then you could get burnt out on it. Like, you could watch it so much, it's like you want to kind of, like, take a break from it. Like, yeah, I know how it is.
I start watching candle making or reselling channels when I can't take it anymore. YouTube has gotten pretty boring over the last few years. They censored everything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's all part of the attack on the First Amendment and free speech and all that. So, yep. But, well, you just stay strong. This is my number. Save it to your phone if you ever need to talk or anything. Just feel free.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and post more videos yourself. Speak more about. I saw the the video you had on your channel. I think you had maybe one or two, but just try to post more about your experiences and get more feedback from people, and we got to tell our stories.
I didn't have any comments. For a long time, it was only perps on there. They were jerking me around. They acted like your friend, and then they jerked you around.
Yeah,
they were saying you know too much and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of them on my channel too, in the comment section. Like they're double-sided. They act like they're targeted themselves when they're really not. They're just playing around. But yeah, if you put the word or the title "gang stalking," that'll get people's attention. Because that's why I put that in my videos. Because when I first started watching targeted individual videos, I noticed there was a lot of stuff on gang stalking. So that's what a lot of people look up. So that's why
Is that how you first heard about gang stalking? Was through the videos?
Yeah. So with my targeting initially, the things that I was experiencing was getting brighted with people riding behind me with their bright lights on, or I had a lot of one headlight vehicles following me around, and I had people getting into my residence, but it wasn't a break-in. It was almost as if they had a key to get in, and they would move stuff around in my house. Like my couch would be moved around. I was like, what the hell? And yeah, so I was like, am I going crazy or what's going on? So I started typing in some of the stuff I was experiencing in the Google search. And then I remember typing in specifically, why am I seeing a lot of one headlight vehicles? And then it brought up these vlogs of people called targeted individuals. So I started reading those blogs on Google, and then it led off into like YouTube links, and then I click on the links, and then Lord and behold, I saw people posting videos of being followed with one headlight vehicles. I'm like, oh shit, that's what I'm dealing with, So that's how I fell off into it, or found out about gang stalking. So yeah, it was through Google and YouTube. What about you? Was that how you found it?
No, I had a guy renting my spare room, and I started telling him about this crazy stuff going on. And he said, you're a targeted individual and a victim of gang stalking.
Wow, he knew.
Yes. And I said, what? what is it? And he said it again, and I ran in the house and looked it up on the computer. And he and I talked about it freely, because the same crap was happening to him. He'd have motorcycles outside his window. And I said, I'm sorry they're doing that because of me. He said, no, I heard it in the last place I lived too. And he had restraining orders. He lived in his mother's manufacturing home.
Uh-huh.
And the guy next door was in the military, and he reported that he had beaten up his mother, and he said he didn't. She was elderly.
Mm-hmm.
And he spent 4 months in jail for it.
Wow.
And he just told me all kinds of crap. It was the same thing I'm going through. And a guy in the military, I've got 2 of them here. And it always was suspicious to me, because I don't know why else they'd be here like this, doing this AT&T. I've heard bad things about AT&T. And we started talking about it. I finally had answers to this crazy crap.
Yeah.
I could not figure out. And for a long time, I live in a mobile home, but I rented the space from the city of Escondido, and it's under rent control. And I thought, just trying to get off of rent control, because I've heard of things like that before. Well, then one day, it's so weird. I was walking down the street, and I didn't even have a car. And I see, get it, God's not going to help. And then I just said, God, I'm sorry. I said that, I always come back to you. I'm just not feeling it right now. And 2 days later, on Craigslist, I met this guy, and he purchased the property for me to get rid of them so they wouldn't harass me. And they kept harassing me anyway, but that was kind of miraculous. But I at least got out of that rent control thing. It did get a little better for a while.
Where's this guy at? The one that said that you were a victim of that knew about the stalking and harassment?
He was an alcoholic, and he spent 22 months in San Quentin for 3 DUIs. He didn't tell me that at first, but he would go out and get drunk on the first of the month and smell and not bathe and drop bottles all night and groan and stagger around. And he threatened to beat me up a couple of times. And I had another renter here, a guy. My ex-husband actually had nowhere to go, and he got him off of me. And we contacted the police one night. He's really bad and out of control. Police wouldn't do anything. He says, you just want to get rid of him. The guy's yelling in the officer's face. I say, yeah, probably so. So I had to go over and get a restraining order against him, and that frightened him. So then my friend loaded up a rented van and took him to a motel and paid for a night in a motel and a storage shed for his stuff. And he stole the keys and ran away. My friend sat in the van all night because he didn't want the guy to go away with the van when it was in his name. So it was a big mess. But at least I found out what was going on.
Right.
That's the only reason I have a roof over my head.
Yeah.
And this officer was here harassing me, and I said, why are you doing this? When I bought the property, he said, you didn't buy it, your boyfriend did. He already knew.
Right.
He knew everything about me.
Yeah.
And I personally think that so-called boyfriend is some kind of a handler. If you ever watched Targeted Individuals United with Roy?
Sounds familiar. I'm sure I have.
He said he had a handler, and his name was Bill, and I almost fell off the chair because this guy's name is Bill. And he buys me stuff, and he helps me fix stuff, and he's mentally abusive and doesn't believe in any of this gang stalking stuff. Says it's impossible. And the police are down there in San Diego blocking the street so he can't get to work at 5 in the morning. So they do. He's seen street theater down there, but he says it's not possible. So I don't get it. He's messing with my head.
Yeah.
What he does.
Yeah. You want to stay away from people like that. That's exactly what they do.
I don't see him much anymore. But it's confusing because I don't have a lot of money, so I need the help, and he offers the help, and then he makes me nuts.
Yeah, that's the exchange. That's
You get to the point you don't care. You don't care about the money or what he can help you with. I'd rather walk and have him help me with my car.
right.
I've only seen him a couple of times this year.
Yeah, it's horrible. I'm so
Crazy.
sorry.
You get it from all angles.
That's so true.
My sister tried to get a restraining order. I couldn't see my mother in assisted living. I haven't seen my mother in a year. She has dementia.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Well, I hate to unload too much. I've had a lot.
No, it's
Filled up.
yeah, I could totally understand. Especially you talking to someone that knows what's going on, is dealing with the same thing. You want to get it out there, so
Yeah. Well, keep posting. I'm a fan of your channel. I'll keep watching.
yeah, I just, hopefully, the information helps, or, I just try to help people, that's all. And let people know they're not alone, so I'll definitely do that. And, if you can put some stuff out too, that'd be good too, because like to hear more of your story as well.
Sometimes you ever feel like it's hard to talk about it, like you're going to be traumatized if you talk about it?
Yeah, there was that a fear for a while, like if I post this, they're gonna retaliate. Like I've gotten to the point where I really don't give a shit. I mean, excuse my language, but I don't care. I've taken breaks from talking about it. Like I took a whole year when I came down to Florida from Texas. I said, you know what, I'm gonna focus on positivity. I'm gonna focus on getting myself together. I'm not gonna worry about this stalking stuff. So for a whole year, I really didn't post anything about gang stalking. I only posted stuff that was positive, like me hanging out in nature or just something that I did that was fun in Florida. Like that's what I was posting. But I was still documenting and recording what was going on. The gang stalking was still happening, but after a while,
Did they ever hack your videos?
oh,
I have all kinds of crap I could show, but then when I go to post it, there's only a tree there or something like that.
yeah, that's
My shoes, not the people that harass me.
right. Yeah, that I've had that experience too, but I'm pretty good at, like, protecting my stuff, I guess you could say, or really keeping good record of things. So it's kind of hard for them to do that to me, but I've experienced that too. But I hear that a lot too with other people. They'll say like, "Oh, I get really good evidence, but then I can't post it because they've manipulated the footage or they've done something to kind of keep people from posting." So I don't know. I don't know. Like, I guess it's different with some people, but yeah. Anywho, yeah, just like I said, just be strong. Hopefully, this stuff will end, or they'll have some kind of reform. The 31st is supposed to be of December, I think, is when they decide on whether or not they're going to continue the program or whatever. So we'll see.
Yeah, is that the FISA program?
Yeah, it's the FISA program. So they may go ahead and just do away with it, or they might reform it. I don't know. I don't really have my hopes up too high, and I've said that on my videos. I'm like, look, I'm just putting information out there that they're talking about doing away with it, but nobody knows for sure if they're going to actually do away with it. So.
Well, my friend always says they can't do this or they can't do that to you. I see they do whatever they want because they aren't following the law anyway.
Yeah.
So even if they say the program's on, they may do the same stuff anyway.
They may still continue. Yeah, exactly. The Bible talks about the lawless ones, so they're definitely lawless for sure. They don't care about any of that.
Is that in Revelation?
I'm not.
Just throughout.
I think it's throughout. There's certain parts I can't think of which books it is, but it definitely talks about the lawless ones in the Bible. And that's exactly what these people are. They have no regard for the law. They feel like they can do whatever. So.
Yeah, like I heard you say last night in the video that good is taken for evil and evil is taken for good.
Yeah, well,
That's exactly.
yeah, woe to those that call evil good and good evil. That's exactly what we're living in that time. we
Amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Glad you called.
yeah, I'm glad we finally got to talk. I know we've been missing each other for the past few days and whatnot. I work during the week, eight to 5:30. So usually after 5:30, I'm free. I don't know. I've been going to bed kind of early lately. Trying to get sleep whenever I can because they do sleep deprive me. But yeah, keep in touch for sure. Let's talk. You ever feeling like you want to talk to someone?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You enjoy your night. Okay.
Okay. You